Welcome to the Oxford, North Carolina Exchange, a podcast dedicated to providing Oxford-related media for Oxford, North Carolina. In this episode, we talk about Area Congregations in Ministry, or ACIM, with Sue Hinman, longtime ACIM Director, and with John Tovey, the President of their Board of Directors. We want to welcome everybody to this edition of the Oxford NC Exchange. Today we are at ACIM. Many of you will recognize that those four letters, Area Congregations in Ministry, and we are here simply to be reminded of, this wonderful organization here in our midst, but we also want to find out, what are the unique things that are going on right now? What are the specific needs that that ACIM is trying to address, during this season of life? And we hope that you enjoy it. I'm going to let all of us introduce ourselves. If you're watching, hi, I'm Alan Kennecke, and I'm going to hand it off to my colleague.
Hi, I'm Adam Light, and I'm here with Sue Hinman and John Tovey. And as Alan just said, we're the Oxford NC Exchange, and we have a few questions we want to get going. But we're going to start off with saying, who are you, and what brings you to Oxford?
I'm Sue Hinman, and I got brought to Oxford. My husband got transferred down to the Cary area, and for some reason Oxford stuck out on the map like Raleigh should have. And so we are in the first house we ever looked at online, and I enjoy it. And then I joined a church after, what you do when you move someplace, and that church needed a committee chair. And somehow or another, I became the committee chair of missions, which was an elder. And then I went to the ACIM meeting and became the director. I'm still the interim director. They haven't hired me officially yet, but that's okay. I'm still doing this 25 years later. So I do enjoy this job. It does make me feel good knowing that I'm doing what I believe God has brought me to this area for. And let me give you to my president of my board, John Tovey, and let him introduce himself.
Yeah, hello, I'm John Tovey. And what brought me to Oxford? The short version is a woman. My wife, we moved to Oxford to be nearer her sister, and I decided to retire one day, and we moved down to Oxford. I just fell in love with the town, and since I retired, I have never been so busy. And as Sue says, first thing you do is join a church, right? And that gets you involved in all sorts of things.
A mentor of mine said, Alan, this is what the reality of retirement is. It's more work and less money.
Very true. Very true. Very true. Well, yeah, some of the jobs we do is no money, but that's it. It did start out as a very little money. It's doing a very good job better right now, but it did start out that way. So,
and this question is for each of y'all. What is your absolute favorite thing to do in Oxford?
Have time to do something. But between the two of us, I know we're very, very busy. And it's just like everything else. The one person that does everything in the church is the one person that does everything in the community. And both John and I are very busy at doing those things. So I just love being in the community and getting to do the things that are around here to do. What about you, John?
Well, and myself, I'm very, very busy. I'm involved in all sorts of things, as Sue knows. Sue is a county commissioner. I am a city commissioner. I'm a deacon at my church. I'm chairman of the ushers at my church. I'm a past president of the Lions Club. And also I'm now the president of the board at ACIM after being a volunteer many years ago.
Thank you for volunteering for us, John. You've done an awesome job, and without you here helping us out, we couldn't do what we do, so thank you.
Okay, now the question is, what is the best thing that has happened to you in Oxford?
I want to say ACIM. Quite frankly, first of all was my church, and then ACIM, because they're the ones that got me here, and just getting me involved in the community and getting to know all the people in Granville County. And you're really surprised how many people you meet here, and getting to go out and to talk to the different churches and about ACIM. So I want to say ACIM. What about you, John?
I would say exactly the same thing. My church and ACIM, they're the best things that happened to me. And hopefully they're the best things that happen to Oxford and Granville County.
Thank you.
Great. All right. First question is, okay, we have this acronym, ACIM, and tell us what that acronym means, and why it relates to what this place does.
It stands for Area Congregations and Ministry, and what it does and how it got here was we, back before 86, we've been doing this since 1986, and back in that day, at Thanksgiving, it was this time of the year, and a lady had been around to all the different churches begging for food for Thanksgiving. And so 6 pastors showed up at the same door at the same time to help with food. And while they were waiting for the lady, they got there talking, and they decided there has to be a better way to share the food and get it out to the people that truly need it. So that's how they formed ACIM. They had different churches doing different things, food, clothes, utilities, that type stuff, and it was all one. And they were finally able to get us back into one building when they moved downtown into the school down in Oxford. So, but that's how we got around here.
That's a fascinating story to say, okay, they all showed up at the same time. I suppose we could call that a divine appointment. Or we can call it chance, whatever you think.
Well, I like
but
to say that
it was meant
God
to happen.
working.
We'll just put it that
Yes.
way.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
And it worked out very well. And like I said, it was all the churches in Granville County got together at that point and agreed to work out of one location to give the things that they know that God has asked them to give. So that's where we came from.
So that's how it all got started. What exactly do you do now in your capacity here in the year 2023?
Well, at this point, we've had to give up the clothes because even though this building is 5 times larger, 6 times larger than the building we were in, clothes take up so much space and so many volunteer hours that those were things that we had to give up some of it, and we needed the space for more food. So we just basically do food right now. When we got the extra, we were getting meat from the Walmart distributorship, and when we started getting that meat, it required us to have freezers, and so that gave up more space too. And then we had to lease a truck. And because of the leasing of the truck, the payments we normally would have made for utilities goes toward the truck. So we are no longer able to pay for utilities right now. We're just basically giving food away.
Right.
So.
What is the mission statement of ACIM?
That one we're going to skip on because
Okay.
I do have it, but it's in another room. And
There is a mission statement, and we will get to that.
You can skip this when you record.
Oh, all right. It's been all right. Okay. I had the old one here. Okay. You said that you've been serving the Granville County area since 1986. You said, okay, the services that you're offering right now is primarily food. In the past, there's been help with clothing. There's been help with utilities. Do you do anything beyond the offering of food, life skills or anything like that?
We have not done since COVID hit. We have not done the budgeting class. We used to do the budgeting class once a quarter for people that needed help with the utilities. We still do help with emergency through the sheriff's department or any of the police departments in Granville County, of helping putting people into a hotel for just an emergency night until we can get them back on the road for wherever. And we do try to help with food with that. We'll give them a backpack buddy meal just to get them on the way.
Right.
And we also have menus out there so that people can, the food that we give them, they can utilize it and cook it in the best way, in a good, healthy way. Is that right, Sue?
That's totally right. We do help. The food bank does help us with that. We also have Meredith College, the nutrition college, a nutrition class. They will come out and they will fix some items and show people how to make something such as with chickpeas. I mean, everybody just loves chickpeas. And when we get tons of them in, we have to show people else to do with them besides go, I don't like chickpeas, and so once we taught them that you can kind of squish them up and make them like taco meat, or you can dry them and make them like dried nuts, or
Hummus.
Hummus. Yes, well, it's what hummus is chickpeas.
Yes.
So we have them come down and they help us figure out some of these things. We've had one of the cooks from Strong Arm. He used to come down occasionally and make some stuff, but they've got him up awful early in the morning, so coming down anymore hasn't worked out. But he made succotash, and I've never liked succotash, but let me tell you what, that was some of the best stuff I've ever had. But we do get in some strange vegetables and some things that the people aren't quite sure what they are.
Mm-hmm.
So because they're not sure what they are, if we give it to them and they're going to go, oh, we don't want it, then it's not going to give them the nutrition because they're not going to eat it.
Right.
So if we show them a way that will be nutritionals, then and they eat it, they find that they like it. And so when the ladies from Meredith come, or whoever from Meredith comes down and actually cooks, they show them how to make it, which is usually fast. And then they give tastes out. And normally they all go, no, I don't want to try it. And then when they do try it, they go, oh, this is pretty good. Can I have some more? And so then we've given them something to do with that vegetable or that whatever it is that we have an abundance of that they just didn't have never eaten before and didn't know what to do.
Right. In light of what you've said, for, our listeners and watchers, if you were to address, people that want to and do support ACIM and are concerned about issues of food insecurity, what do you think we could best be educated on in saying, okay, here are the real issues, and here's how we can become better at addressing the need? You've talked, not just about, okay, the fact of food, but type of food. Can you say more about that?
Sure. Well, back when this started back in 1986, when they decided that everybody would get together and make a food collection on the 5th Sunday of every month. Well, it's gone down, it went down to once a year for a lot of churches, but we still need it to be not just the 5th Sunday, but every Sunday, or at least once a month. And because we do serve anywhere from 50 families to 150 a day. Wow. That's a lot of food to be given out. And quite frankly, now we have 2 freezers at 16 by 20 and a refrigerator that's 16 by 20 and shelf space. We also do backpack buddies. So we have the space to give away, and health products such as shampoo, toothbrush, deodorant, that thing, because that's the kind of stuff you can't buy with food stamps. Right. And you still need toilet paper, that doesn't go away. You still need toothpaste and toothbrushes. That's why my dentist hates to see me come, because I'm always begging for more toothpaste, more toothbrushes. So, and I'm sure anybody that has anything to do on the board is their dentists hate them too. So, but that's just basic. We can take anything and we'll give away anything. Mm-hmm. So, any types of food. I mean, since we've got the space to do it, we'll take that. Right now, we're begging for turkeys. We had one church that was donating a lot of turkeys every year for Thanksgiving, and this year we didn't get them. Something happened. There was a miscommunication or something, but it didn't happen. So there are no turkeys for Thanksgiving this year. We do have the Oxford Baptist has given us 16. So far, Oxford Baptist has been trying to have people go out to Food Lion and if they get the free turkey, to donate the free turkey to ACIM. So we have about 16 of them right now in the freezer ready for Monday. But right now, there are no turkeys to help out with. So, yeah.
But there are other things that we do. Sue mentioned other things that we do. During the pandemic, for instance, Revlon helped us a lot with hand sanitizer, lip balm, things like that. We have that here as well. Sanitary stuff. So it's not just food. It's the things that, as Sue said, you cannot buy with food stamps, right, but the people need. If they need food, they need other things. Right. And we don't want them to choose between food and toiletries. Right. Let's try and give them both.
Right.
That's very true.
So you said a little bit about what you offer. If someone is interested in these services, where can they go and how do they apply?
They can come to 634 Roxborough Road. That's right across the street from the veterinarian on Roxborough Road and next door to Granville Shrine Club and also the gentleman that makes pantries next door. And we're down a long driveway. There's a big sign out there that says ACIM. Come on in, and we will try to do the best we can to help you with food. Of course, we do ask you to next time to go apply for food stamps before you come back, because we know we don't give you very much because we don't have that much to give you. But we want you to have enough food to take care of yourself, so we ask you to go apply for food stamps afterwards. Right. Now, you're not required to get them to get food, but you are required to go try. And if they turn you down, you're still welcome to come try and get food from us.
And do you work hand in hand with any statewide or regional food banks?
We do. We work with the North Carolina Eastern and Central Food Bank. We get food from them twice a month right now. That's where we buy our Backpack Buddy food, and we get government food. It's called TFAB, the Emergency Food Assistance Program. We get from them. We can also buy food from them. Some of it is what they call a share cost product, which we share the cost with them. From the wholesalers that they buy it from, and then we can buy it and put it on the shelf, or the stuff that they get in from, such as Food Line distributorship like we do. They get food in that's dented or the label's kind of scratched or missing or whatever, hole in the diaper bag or whatever. We share the price with them at 19 cents a pound. So we can buy food from them, or we can, either way, the 19 cents a pound or the shared cost product. Right. So, and like I say, we get it from Food Line distributorship. We also get meat in from Walmart distributorship when they have extra that they can donate.
Real quick, along those lines, you've mentioned, receiving food, the purchasing of food. In participating with ACIM, obviously, there's been food donations from the very beginning. But I'm curious as to what would be perhaps the most efficient way for people to participate with ACIM. We can bring, cans of food and other things to church and have them brought over to ACIM. Are there times where, actually you get more food just simply by buying it through the food bank?
There was times before COVID, before all this, before the food shortages started happening, we could buy more from the food bank. But right now, because it's even hard, we got a grant from Food Line for $10,000, and I called them up and asked if I got $10,000, can I spend it? And they were, quite frankly, we'd love to, but we don't have it. We need to get it to our school, to our church, to our stores, so that they can get it to the people that need to buy it. And so right now, the best thing is if you could buy something when you're at the store, an extra can here or something on sale, and whatever it is, God knows. And he knows that we need it, and so we end up getting that can. We can still give it away. So our theme here is if everybody who can would buy one can and bring it to store or to your church, one of the stores downtown. They're collecting food. Police stations, sheriff's stations, they will collect food for it and bring it to us. Then we can feed the truly needy of Granville County. But without your one can, we can't do it.
Right.
So thank you.
Right. In going into the store and we're looking for our one can or 5 or 10, what particular cans would you advise us to pick up?
Whatever God, because really anything you pick up, we can give away, and most people need it. More than just green beans and corn. Canned meat we always can use. Jelly. For some reason, for 25 years that I've been here, I have not been able to keep jelly on the shelf.
Huh.
I don't. We can usually keep peanut butter on the shelf, but I cannot keep jelly on the shelf. Soups, cereals, warm cereals in the wintertime, especially for my seniors, because my seniors are making, now that they've cut the food stamps back, they're getting $18 a month in food stamps. And so, I really think we need to do a better job of helping to try to feed these people that have worked all their lives and saved, but it's not enough.
They're
And
having to stretch their dollars.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Protein based, I think protein based foods are the best way we can help them help themselves. So canned meats, as I say, vegetables. We get fresh vegetables as well that we give out on a weekly basis, right?
Right. What about dairy?
Dairy, we do get in some dairy from the food bank through TFAB, but very few on that. And some of the grocery stores, because we do pick up from the 2 Food Lions in town, and bring that in. And sometimes when the milk's getting close to date, we've got one church that does buy us milk and brings that in. Not much. I think it's like 8 or 10 gallons a month, but still it's milk. So we do give that away, but we have the refrigerators, and so we're more than welcome to take it. We have a gentleman that just butchered a cow, and he called me and asked me if I would take it. So this afternoon, after we get done with this, I'll be loading a cow into the freezers.
Terrific.
So
Terrific. Eggs?
Eggs, yes.
Great.
Anybody that's got chickens,
Yeah.
we have people bring us the cartons. We collect cartons so we can do that, and we give those to the people that have the chickens, so it doesn't cost them money to give us their eggs. Well, they got to feed the chickens, but it doesn't cost them any more money to give us the eggs. So we do give away a lot of egg cartons, so we get back eggs.
So if you're listening out there, one of the things that I want to draw attention to that we've talked about is, there was a time when it was more efficient to simply write a check so that ACIM could buy food from the food bank. Now they advise that we buy the food ourselves and bring it to church or to ACIM.
It is starting to get better at the food bank. They are starting to pick up. It's not as well as it was prior to COVID.
Yeah.
But it is getting a little bit better as far as things that we can buy. But I still, at this point, need you to do the buying for us.
Right.
I'm curious. All your time here at ACIM, do you have any favorite memories or moments that just kind of say, "Wow, that really leaves a dent in my mind"?
I have several, but one in particular. I'd been here over 20 years, and I had a gentleman that came in and he needed a utility bill paid, and he was a senior citizen, and it was during the heat of the summer. I mean, it was just horrifying how bad it was. And the gentleman that handed me his electric bill, and our rule is it's $200 once a year for a maximum. And he handed me this bill, and it was $200 for 2 months. My electric bill was running $300 and $400 at that time period. And so I looked at it and went, how could this be? So I asked him, I said, well, sir, can I give you food? And he goes, well, I know there's somebody out there that needs food worse than I do. And I'm like, sir, please, if you'll just go apply for food stamps, I can continually give you food. It's not a problem. Well, I know I can buy eggs at the Dollar Tree. And to this day, that still chokes me up, is why should a senior citizen have to know that the way he can eat is by buying eggs at the Dollar Tree? So we have to find a better way and to get food in so we can help feed these senior citizens. The children, they are getting food stamps. Still, they didn't get cut down hardly. And, there are a few parents that have 5 kids that would only get $5 in food stamps because their income is so high, but it's not really that high when you think you've got 4 kids to feed. And I don't know about you all, but I remember when my kids were younger, my son would get up from supper and ask for a bowl of cereal, so it was like, I know how much kids can eat, but there is food stamps out there for them, so we can get them food stamps, and we will, even if they're turned down with those 4 kids, we will try to help the best we can. Now remember, it's whatever we have, it's what we can give out. So when the shelves get empty, and they have several times this last few months gotten almost down to nothing, then the next day when we're open, it's very hard. And that makes our days really sad because, you're sending people away with nothing.
But I remember when I first started here volunteering years ago, loading a car up outside, and the lady was in tears because she hadn't eaten for such a long time. And it's those sort of memories that stick in your mind, and you think you are doing good work, you're doing God's work. And this is what we're here for, to do the best we can to help these people. But to see the grateful look in that lady's eyes was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that's awe-inspiring, really. And some of these people actually come back and volunteer at sometimes.
Really.
I had someone back when I first started. She came in and she needed money to help with her electric bill. And I helped her out, and for many years afterwards, around Christmas time, she would walk in and hand me what I paid for her electric bill in cash. And I said, but don't you want a tax receipt so that you can take this? And she says, this wasn't between me and the government. This was between me and God. And I said, whoever helped me out, I would help back. And for many, many years, she paid that fee back every year. And I want to say it was at least 10 years. So we do get some people that, that we help just on that emergency basis, and they come in and they know and they see how many people we help and how hard it is.
Yeah. I've loved hearing those stories. The ones that, can be described as nothing else than joy.
Mm-hmm.
And also the stories that just tear into your heart.
They do.
In hearing that, what are ways that people in this community can step into those spaces of joy and to be in the places where it's hard?
Well, they're more than welcome to be here on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 9 to 12. We've got a couple organizations that actually once a month will send over some of their employees to help out, and which makes our day so much better because it does take about 30 volunteers a day just to open up our doors. Because by the time you do the intake and then the getting the food together and it takes a lot of people to do this. So volunteering, that's just one of the biggest. There's times that we also open Tuesdays and Thursday nights from 5:30 to 7:30 to help pack the boxes of food to get them ready so that the next day that we're open, we don't have to pack the box then. It's already pre-packed and ready to go, so we can get the people that are here in and out much faster. That's one of the things we learned during COVID was how to do this a little bit more efficient. But volunteerism is a huge thing. Making that donation, even if you need to make that donation in the form of a check, we're still going to take care of it. We're still going to go out and buy what we need to buy wherever we can get it for the best prices we can get it. So any money, food, your body, there's things that need to be done, such as grants. We need to look right for grants, and that's not my thing. And I'll be honest to everybody that I need help with that. Doing this, just talking to the public and letting them know what we need and how you can help us, that's a huge thing because not everybody even knows about ACIM. And here we've been here so long, and but new pastors will come into town, and their churches won't remember to say something, and the pastor will start their own food pantry, not knowing what's going on. And then that what happens is, I'm not saying the scammers are the only ones that get the advantage of that,
Right.
but they're the ones that are the first ones to know there's a new church in town.
Yeah.
It's not those seniors that need the extra food. It's the ones that have learned how to get around the situation.
Yeah. If I'm hearing you correctly, having all the churches come together and have this be a force multiplier, the most people get fed when we pool all of our resources together, as opposed to us trying to all do our own individual thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's God told us that. He told us if we work together, we'll get it made. We'll take care of it.
That's how it all started, right? Those 6 pastors showed up at the same place.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah, and,
They all came together.
And he showed us that, and if we can all work together, every agency that does this type of thing, if we can work together and help these truly needy people, and there's a lot of them that have gotten back on their feet and not needed us, but there are those ones that are going to need us forever, and it's like our seniors, and it's a hard day when we've learned we've lost another senior.
Yeah.
And adding to that, I would ask that the people that listen to this ask their neighbours, because so many people think it's a stigma to ask for food, and it isn't. It's a right. I believe it's a right to be able to live. So the people that come here, they don't come here because it's another shopping spree for them. They need it. But there are so many people out there that don't want to ask. So find out from your neighbour.
Yeah.
Do they really need help? And try and offer that help.
Yeah.
And now saying that, we can, if you have talked to your neighbor and found out that you need food, we can give you the forms to fill out and have that neighbor sign it, and you can come pick it up for them. They don't even have to come in if they're not physically able to do that. They can have a neighbor bring it in.
Hey guys, we're back with ACIM and having a great time. And earlier we were talking about ways to give back and everything. And so I'm just curious, y'all. I understand you'll be sponsoring a turkey trot coming up. Can you tell us more about it?
Actually, it's Oxford Methodist Church is sponsoring the turkey trot, and they've done it since its inception 18 years ago. And it's where everybody meets at Oxford Methodist. You fill out a little piece of paper, and start around 8:30. You bring 2 cans of food. We'd like 4, but bring 2 cans of food, and you can then turn around or a piece of paper. We don't mind pieces of paper, little green ones or the ones that have your names on them. We don't mind those. But then you could turn around and walk at 9 o'clock. We're going to walk from downtown, in front of the Methodist Church, down to the Masonic Home and back. And then we'll give you your time so you can say how fast you did it. Anybody that donates over $200 to do the turkey trot or that not do the turkey trot, we'll try to get their name in the paper as a sponsor of the turkey trot. The more the better. And the reason we had to stop, and I apologize, is we had a gentleman wanted to he just had a cow butchered, and he wanted to deliver the meat for that. So that's another way. If we've got farmers out there, if you know a friend that's a farmer and you're willing to buy a cow to have it donated to us, we'd be glad to take it and give it away.
And of course, the turkey trot, you can walk, you can run, you can skip, you can do anything. So old folk like me, we'll probably walk.
We've had people ride horses. We've had skateboards. We've had skate wheels. The wheels.
Rollerblades.
Blades. We've had rollerblades, and so however you want to get there. Baby carts, dogs.
Scooters are acceptable?
Oh yeah,
okay.
Yeah. As long as you don't run people over, you're more than welcome. We don't care how you get your exercise. Just come on down and get your exercise and bring us a few cans of food, and we'll be happy.
Now, where do you see ACIM in the next 3 to 5 years or so?
Well, we've got to get back on charge. We've got to get this COVID stuff behind us and start getting some donations coming back in. Unfortunately, we've had a manufacturer move out of the area. It was Santa Fe Tobacco. They used to give us $2,000 a week in organic produce.
Wow.
That is going to be a huge loss for us because people are getting healthy vegetables that way. Yes, a lot of farmers donate their vegetables to us, but $2,000 a week was a very, very huge investment in the county of Granville, so we will miss that desperately. So we just got to start growing again as far as getting the food in. We got the people, we just got to get the food.
We need sponsors,
yes,
preferably local sponsors if we can. We're not asking for $2,000 a week. I mean, that was an enormous amount, but any type of sponsorship on a regular basis, that would certainly help us. And that way we can be more efficient. We know what we've got coming in as opposed to hit and miss every month.
Yeah.
And how do you see Oxford and the area in general changing in the next 5 years or so?
Well, it's growing. It's gonna grow. And thanks to Oxford, they're doing a really good job of getting that going. But because of that, then we're going to have some of these people that are still more people that are needing. We're going to aging out that are needing. Even though their jobs out there, they're aging out, and if they've lost their job, then they're going to need food, and we're going to have to help with that. So I'm hoping, my dream is to be worked out of not being needed. But since Jesus asked us way back in his day to feed the needy, and we're still doing that, I have a feeling it's not going away anytime soon.
Since Jesus' time, there have been people needing food.
I'm sure
there will always be the need. And with the growth of Oxford and surrounding areas in Granville County, hopefully we can get a lot more donations and getting a lot more people involved.
Yeah. If I can say this from behind the camera, how can Oxford grow well? One of the things that I love about this community is just the generosity that I keep encountering in so many different people, and how to have people that move here to say, this is what this place is like.
Be aware.
Yes, be aware.
We
Yeah.
need to get out to those people and just, like you used to do in the olden days, and just go knock on your neighbor's door and let them know what you know about Oxford and Granville County, because that's the only way they're going to find out. Because those people are going to be very busy people that are moving into this area. And if we don't get to them first by knocking on their door and letting them know, then we're probably going to lose them.
Yeah.
Correct.
It sounds like one of the best ways to address food insecurity is simply getting to know your neighbor.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you'll never know what you're going to meet, whether you meet somebody that can be very generous or somebody that can't and does need our help.
Yeah.
So either way, it works out well.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time and all your thoughts and everything, Sue and John and Alan behind the camera now. And,
Yeah. This is if you wonder what happened, it was the disc ran out of space, but we found a second way to finish our interview here.
Do you have anything else you want to add or say?
Just thank you very much. And if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to call the office. It's 919-691. That's my phone. 691-1183 is my phone number. So you're welcome to call that number, and I'll be glad to help you out with anything you have questions on. But we do need your service as far as the helping hands.
Yes.
And without you, we can't do it without that can. So
Yeah.
thank you.
And are you guys on social media or anything like that?
We are on Facebook, and we're also on Instagram.
Oh, great.
So we will get this, let people know that they can see this podcast that way.
Yeah. Give them a follow, everyone.
We will.
Check us out. Checks are welcome. Food is welcome. Your body to volunteer is very
We're
welcome.
welcome.
Yeah.
So please.
And there's nobody too
Yeah.
small. We can always put the little ones to work too.
That's right.
Well, thank you for taking the time and for coming on the Oxford NC Exchange. And here's to hoping that more and more people in the Oxford community know about ACIM, how they can participate with ACIM, and that we can have our eyes open to the reality of food insecurity right in our midst, and to do what God would ask us to do.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Any final words?
Have a good one.
All right.